All right, we are live for our Friday night special. We're going to bring you the breaking news as we're bringing it to you guys live on a Friday night. Hope you guys all are having a good time, and we appreciate you taking a break from your typical Friday night to hang out with us here in the studio. Once again, thank you guys for joining us on this special edition of All Things BMX. We got a special guest this evening, Nick Jones, a.k.a. track director from Cape Coral. And look, Billy's already excited because he has a Friday night show. So, Nick, thanks for joining us on our very first ever special report edition of All Things BMX.
Man, you're making me feel all special being here. First ever Friday night action.
It is, yes. Yeah. So as we get in here, we want to tell everybody thanks for jumping in here and joining us this evening. We threw this together real quick. So we got a lot of breaking news happening in and around the BMX nation.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. And Melissa will be a little different intro here, as it's not the full staff here, and she didn't even get a chance to reach out to some of them. So, Chris, if you want to join in, the invite's the same as always. You're fine to jump in here, and I'll get you up on screen. We were putting this together so fast, Nick, I didn't even get a chance to tell the crew, but we do have Melissa manning all things social media for us. And she has brought a new dynamic lay-in to the show. So for the nights that the shit-talking gets out of control, we're going to be able to share it right here on the screen.
No, I'm not sharing it. You're going to be responsible for that.
Yes, so
I'm not owning that at all.
When it gets wild, we'll be able to share, because I know some people, when they're watching, they don't see the chat. So we'll be able to take the chat, blow it right up for you so you guys can see the chat. Melissa is the one that sits behind and answers those chats and talks to you guys, as always. And if you notice, we have somebody else sitting at the Gate 9 producer's perch back there. We have Laura. She's going to fill in, filling in for her mom this evening. We appreciate, again, you guys joining us. If you can, give us a thumbs up in the chat room. Let us know you can hear everything loud and clear. We rushed real fast, so I didn't have the normal amount of time, or Paul here, to yell at me for sound levels. So we do appreciate all of you joining, especially, was it Glitter Sparkles? Is that anybody?
That's my daughter.
Yeah, it says, Dad, I see you on, LOL.
AA Glitter Sparkles.
Yes.
Gosh,
Well, as some of you probably saw today, actually, I'll pull this up real fast over here. Give me a second. We did have some things happen this morning coming out of Florida, and that is why Nick is here. So, breaking out of Florida, you guys, what's the big news happening down there, Nick?
Well, I mean, obviously our state series itself, there's been no official post made by, the USA BMX Florida State Series. So let's put that out there right now. I know a lot of people are waiting. I mean, myself included, but there has been no official post made by them. Now, having said that, we did have, one of our track operators here in Florida, spilt the beans a little bit and put it out there that the track operators in Florida voted to cancel the end of the state series here in Florida. So, man, it's been really an interesting day for sure. A lot of phone calls, a lot of comments, texting, messaging. I mean, all the way up to, all things BMX on a Friday night,
Absolutely. So the post at hand, we were chit-chatting about it. Does it happen to be the one and it's going to be a little hard for you to see the screen here, so I'll put it up full size for everybody, because this caught my eye this morning, and I wasn't sure what to make of this, and it was just a really busy day. And so we had Mr. Bill Murray. He says a track that is approved to host a state championship final should host the said race. And from there, I watched this thread blow up for most of the day. Is this kind of the not official post we were speaking of?
It was. I think that at first, I'm friends with Bill. We get along. His track at Sarasota is not that far away from mine. We're about an hour apart. We talked about the post and everything, and he stands by his post. At first, it wasn't put out there. After talking with him, it wasn't put out there to announce to everybody that the season's canceled, because when he had put that post out, to be honest with you, we didn't know that all the tracks had voted yet. So that was more just a questionnaire on his part to see what everybody else would say or how they might think due to COVID. There's a lot of states that are canceling their series. Florida wouldn't be the only one. So it was more of like I said, a questionnaire to people, see how people thought, what their reaction would be, that, hey, what's you guys' opinions across the country if you had an opportunity to race the state final? Do you think that it should go down, or should, it just get canceled outright? Should all tracks be canceling, their state series races?
Well, let's throw that question into our chat room. And so look, if you're approved, should you be running it? Should you be racing your state championship? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, again, not a lot of time. Yeah? Not a lot of time
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. I'm
to
sorry.
dig in and get a lot of research. Apologize on my part for that. But you guys have ran all your qualifiers. This was going to be your state championship race, correct?
Kind of. So we start our state series in October because of the obvious beautiful Florida weather. Technically, our state series started for the 2020 season, started October of 2019. So that's when we started. Our state championship was supposed to be held the first weekend of May. We always host it in May, but for obvious reasons with COVID, we weren't able to do that. So we were all supposed to have our last two qualifiers at Naples BMX, and that was in April. So we still had two qualifiers to go, and then the state championship race. And, from April all the way up until, now, us as track operators, was 14 this year, if you don't include Oldsmar. And, we were trying and have been trying to figure out how to continue the state series, finish qualifiers. Do we go to different tracks? I mean, there's been endless communication by all of us. I can say that. I mean, we do have a group message board that we're communicating with each other sometimes every other day, if not at the very least weekly, on updating each other on whose tracks were opening and when. So it was all a real fluid thing, all the way up until now. We were, like I said, working at it. And as tracks were opening back up, just, getting after each other, figure out what everybody's cities were doing, what their counties were doing. I mean, yeah, we're all in Florida, but at my track in Cape Coral, or even Sarasota and some of the other tracks, we are in a completely different situation than other tracks, on the other side of the state. We have, a track in West Palm and Okie. They really just kind of opened up and started racing again. Miami's still shut down. And Orlando, well, Miami's allowed to have practices right now. They've been practicing small groups, but Orlando's not even open at all.
So is it one track that's completely shut down, and then you got some of the other ones on restriction?
I know that Orlando is completely shut down. As a matter of fact, the park that they're in is a COVID testing site. So that's why they haven't even been able to open up for practice at all. Miami, within the past couple of weeks at Miami South, they've been able to just start opening for practice, but their practice is not a typical. It's limited just 10 riders in their park, I believe. So those two tracks alone have the most restrictions. And then pretty much the rest of us, we're all open for local racing. Some tracks can have bigger events like Gold Cups, but other tracks are just limited, to local racing.
Okay. And we'll get to the Gold Cup announcement you guys had here a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So understood, even up here in the other peninsula, we had some tracks that had some restrictions thrown on them. And just like you were saying earlier, we've got an email thread where we as TOs all talk on there and whatnot and work together to help one of our tracks here in Michigan. We don't have as many tracks. Hopefully in the next few years we'll get some more open up here, and we can hang with the other southern peninsula state. But we had moved one of the qualifier from the track over in Port Huron, which is over on the east side of Michigan, borders up to Canada. There we moved that to one of our other local tracks because they were getting some having some issues with the county having a bigger race like that. So totally understand that frustration. So how we got here was you said, hey, look, we can move our state final. We can move it here and there. It looked good. And the late breaking news earlier this morning was there was a vote and now it was shut down, right?
Correct. Like I said, that was the vote from the Florida track operators.
Okay.
And that's what, we as a collective group decided to do. It wasn't unanimous, but, as a group going forward, majority rules, and that's what we decided to do as a group. But again, USA BMX in the Florida State Series, if you will, it's what it's coined, hasn't come out with an actual social media post letting everybody know that it's canceled. So we voted to cancel it, but that actually has not gotten the final approval or say so from USA BMX.
All right. So there's still a chance it could happen.
I don't foresee that happening, not with everything that has gone on and the vote. I mean, USA BMX, I can tell you, for some, a lot of track operators, or I see the comments on No Holds Barred, how's Florida doing this, working with you and USA BMX. I mean, me personally, I can tell you, and I know a lot of the track operators feel the same way. They've been amazing in running our series. I mean, we're basically running our state series. It's like having nationals down here in Florida with the rider turnouts that we have in Moto Count. So, while they make decisions and they help us out and they run a fantastic series with us, they've always been supportive of what we decide or what we wanted in this state series. And that goes back to the very beginning when the SSA was no more. And, USA BMX came to us and said, hey, what do you want? Do you want to run a normal state series like everybody else? Or we're willing to, if you want to continue what we're doing, we're willing to give it a shot. So I don't foresee USA BMX going against what we voted. But I guess anything's possible. I just, like I said, they've been really supportive of us as a group. So,
well, I can tell you as a new TO operator myself, anytime I had to reach out to them, it's been wonderful. They've been big supporters of the show, so always appreciative of that. Right. Did you have...
I'm just laughing at the hashtags that T-Bone's coming up
with.
Oh,
good Lord.
Hashtag stick with Nick.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, man, stick with Nick every time.
Hashtag chill with Jill.
Listen, that's my wife. We don't need to hashtag her.
That's hilarious.
She'll take control right in there. Don't you worry.
Now, is that on? Yeah, Sean. Did Sean have something he wanted to ask over there?
I didn't interpret that as a question, but if you did, then you go.
He wanted to know. I think he wanted to know. Did all this? Well, I think I know why he's asking, because there's a potential, like here in Michigan, where Sean's track, they've got Sunday to race, and if there's bad weather, they're up against the timeline where they'd have to run their race like maybe during the week, and so on and so forth. But if he couldn't run, he wanted to know: did every race get ran so far except the final?
No. So, like I said, we have 2 qualifiers left.
Okay, I missed that.
That were supposed to be in Naples, and those didn't go off in April because of COVID. So we were toying with the idea of, for the longest time, whether or not we'd be able to go down to Naples and race there. They've had some pretty tight COVID restrictions while they're open back up and they're open for racing. But it came to the point where Naples had said, hey, listen, our county is not going to allow us to have that kind of event. Now, the event we're talking about, you got to realize, is not, and I'm going to brag about Florida BMX.
No,
here.
we all know.
I mean, we were looking at this year, honestly, we were looking at 1,000 signed up riders. Yeah. Now, if you want to include, Cruiser in that and how that changes number, I know Henry on No Holds Barred will break that down. But regardless, I mean, we're talking when you include parents, we're talking a couple thousand people, 1,000 riders showing up for an event. So trying to find a facility to hold a qualifier, never mind the championship, for something like that, and then the championship. I mean, there's only one track in Florida right now, right this second, that could host something like that. So, I mean, I know that we're getting close to the Sunshine State down in Charlotte, but you got to remember that's slated for the end of October. So their county and other people's counties, have different restrictions for the end of October than they do right now. So it's not like you can just say, hey, well, if Charlotte's having, the national at the end of October, we'll just have the state championship right now. No, because their restrictions are going to be different in a month from now than they are right now.
Sure.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I think Sean was just asking. He just clarified. He was asking because he thought that Nick had said that they had run all of their races and they were just canceling right before the final.
No, we still had 2 qualifiers left. One of the options that was put on the table that we all had discussed was to have our final on a Sunday, but that Saturday have a last chance qualifier. So instead of having the 2, maybe having 1. Kind of like what they're doing with Gold Cup now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just put out that Friday was going to be a LCQ, so we were going to do. The idea was to do the same thing. So.
Very nice.
Nick,
go ahead.
Sean says you can bring it to Michigan, Richfield, to run it for you. Did you check with Yogi, Sean? You're gonna get him a
you
heart
better
attack.
check with Yogi for you roll that many people up there.
And yes, Ron, I might choose to run for office. Wink, wink.
We got some people in here giving you some shout outs. Obviously, T-Bone with his stick with Nick, and then Sebastian. What is it? Perez. Sebastian Perez. He wants to just give everybody, all the TOs in Florida, a shout out. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, man.
Is Ron seriously in here throwing shade already?
Well, that's what I was.
Who's Ron?
I was addressing.
What you got?
There.
Ron McDonald, legit name. McDowell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron McDowell.
Oh, okay.
He says it's Florida. Who cares?
Hey, Florida man, right?
Hey, it's always we miss. Some of us still go harken back to the NBL days when it was Florida versus Michigan at that one race.
Yeah, I've heard
in the
that.
middle, the winter, and I know there was many years where we tried to stole, copied, whatever you wanted to say, the Florida series, and we ran that thing up here too, and we always went down there and wanted to catch up and keep up with you guys, so it was a good rivalry for sure. So with that said, on the screen, we're taking calls. All right. So anybody down there in Florida, if you want to call in, It's a new thing we're going to test. So,
Oh boy.
well, we always like to try to add new things, like Melissa's chat we just added here. She's got this up here now, so when the shit talking gets serious, we can throw right over, and no one can hide anymore.
Well, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. They would be a worldwide witness to everything said, so keep that in mind when
There's
you
no
start
hiding.
posting.
There's no hiding anymore.
You can be ousted on all social media.
And the cool thing about the chat is it pulls in from all the sources. So if we blow this up a little bit for you,
You all can see what I see.
You
and how confusing it can get at times.
it does. So I'll take this guy, slide this over. It'll show from people calling in for messaging in from YouTube, Facebook, all the Facebook sources. I don't think
many realize that we actually 4 different Facebook outlets that we take input from.
Yes. So there's from all those sources. We're on there taking your guys' messages, trash talking, and anyone that wants to, you can call in right now. 248-716-1094, and you can add to what we've got going on here, what we're talking about now, and if you got your own information you want to bring it in. Let's talk about it. We're hanging out Friday night. We're going to talk a little bit more about Florida. We got some things coming up down there, and we also are going to swing out to Maryland and talk a little bit of what's going on over at Maryland. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to talk to our friends over at Heavy Pedals. And
Hey, Metro Detroit, it's time to experience the coolest store you've never been to. Magic Motorsports in Waterford. Discover over 40,000 square feet of savings. From motorcycle parts, accessories, and service to hoodies, coats, jackets, and sunglasses from Oakley and Spy, and so much more. Looking for that perfect gift? You'll find it here. Get big discounts on everything every day. We also carry the area's largest selection of BMX bikes and accessories. And we change motorcycle tires while you wait. Magic Motorsports on Dixie Highway just west of Telegraph in Waterford.
all right, we're back, and we wanted to say thanks to our friends over at Magic. Though we were going to go to Heavy Pedals, but we ended up going to Magic just because things got moved out of line a little bit when we were making the show real fast for tonight. So my apologies. We'll get that straightened out here real quick. We're back with Nick. Thanks for joining us. And I got to go screen on this so they can't see. I'm going to keep messing all sorts of things up.
Oh, that's a good question.
What's that?
That Martin has. He's asking, how does the state series being canceled affect the current state standings being utilized for ROC qualification and state plates?
So it won't affect anybody qualifying for ROC. I mean, even if there was an issue, USA BMX has come out with a system breaking it down for district points, and that's for any state series. So ours would be included, being in the top 10. But from what has been discussed, what I understand, the state points will be final as the last day of that qualifier back in April. So the rankings as they are will go ahead and get you your ROC qualification. So even though we're not holding a championship race, it won't prevent anybody from racing at ROC that is going to go or that has earned that ranking.
Did you see what Brian said?
You go ahead.
So Brian said that they just posted the official cancellation from USA BMX.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I wonder if that's over on their Facebook page and or on their website. We'll have to take a look here real fast while we do that. Hey, shout out to Todd, longtime listener. Hopefully someday we'll get him back on a BMX bike, but he messaged us right before we went on the air representing his Kebco shirt because we haven't got him a new All Things BMX one yet, but he's out there in Sturgis. You notice what he's missing in this area? He's not wearing a mask out there. He's a rebel.
Nobody's wearing a mask.
Nobody is. Nobody.
Maybe he just took it off for the pic.
Maybe that's probably what he did. I'm thinking that right there.
They weren't wearing it at the National either.
No.
So weren't we under the understanding that they were going to be more strict with that in Maryland? Is that the
Yeah. Well, we're gonna.
Well,
story?
We got somebody on the scene there to
Oh,
give us a little update here in a few.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
We are going to reach out and make a phone call here and find out how things have went over in Maryland. But before we do that, we're going to toss it up to Nick so he can run down the gold cups that you guys were awarded, last week?
yeah, we were awarded last week. So basically the same things that were happening with our state series were happening with Gold Cup. Tracks being able to host these type of events where there's a lot of people coming in. So for a while it was the Okehely BMX in West Palm. Crazy COVID restrictions, weren't going to be able to have it. Jacksonville for a while wasn't sure, and Orlando was supposed to have it, but they're completely shut down. So as we went along, being in Florida, especially where I'm from, it's a 5-hour drive from where my track is in Cape Coral just to get out of Florida. So, and in Florida, we have 3 Gold Cup qualifiers every year. But so it was getting to the point where we were not going to have any. And so I picked up the phone and I called Connie Shetler, and I asked her, I said, hey, listen, Connie, as it stands right now, I cannot have a Gold Cup qualifier in August. I said, but I talked with my Parks and Rec, and they are going to agree to have it mid-September, the week before the championship. So if we can get another track on board, so there's at least 2. I mean, let's be honest, in Florida, if we were going to only have 1, nobody would go because, I mean, you'd have to travel, like I said, from South Florida to get pretty far to get another qualifier in. So if we can get another track on board, will you be okay with that, being that it's only a week before the championship? And she said, absolutely. So Charlotte BMX got on board, which is going to be the site of the national, and they said, hey, their county will allow them to have it at the end of August, so they're going to have theirs. It's been posted on there August the 30th, and then ours is coming up in September the 20th. So that way, we still weren't sure, to be honest, on what was going to happen with the state series, but obviously Gold Cups are a lot smaller event than the state championship that we were trying to roll out, So everybody was good with it. My city was good with it. Charlotte was good with it. And so was it USA BMX. So we all got together, made it happen for the riders so they'd be able to have qualifiers and go race in Dauphin, Alabama if they want.
So it just got kicked over to us. Let me, real fast. This just came over, and give me 1 second here. I'm going to slide this guy around. So we'll go real quick on how this is going to be. We just got the news in here. I'm going to go full screen on this so everyone can see it. So right here, here's how the 2020 finals or amateur state rankings will be determined. As we're going along here, you've kind of you've went over some of these, so this might be a repeat or adding to what you had said. Riders that completed in a minimum of 3 qualifiers up to High Springs, which was the end of February, beginning of March. All Florida State single-point races will be considered, and you guys have that minimum 10 requirement like we all do. Riders' age will remain as their birthday of May 20th. And May 20th, 2020 is the original final date. So we're not going to change that around. The team series overall standings will be determined from the best 7 state races. And your open jackets will be the 7 state qualifier race to earn a custom open. Good God, you guys have all kinds of stuff going on. Holy crap!
Man, our state series is freaking amazing.
Like wow, you got team series, open jet, a 30 race participant
Award? Oh yeah, man.
So is that 30 races in Florida or just anywhere?
30 races in Florida.
Okay, all right.
And that can be a combo of singles and qualifiers. So you can add them together to get your 30 race award. Last year it was a badass gear bag, which typically is every year. Some years there have been some different things. I actually think this year they were going to make it a cooler, but it's always a great gift and just extra incentive for riders to keep racing. Yeah,
so the 30 race participant award, that's a really cool thing that maybe another Peninsula state's going to steal. So, hey, here's how you claim your plate and your trophies. That information's here. This all will be broke for you. And for more information, please see www.sunshinestatebmx.com. Wow. Man, we got to step up our game. I mean, the rest of the country, look at these sponsors. we got to step up our game. Our team, I mean, obviously, little shout out to my team, little plug right there. We got them up here. But our team competition is phenomenal. I know BMX isn't a team sport, but, it's great to see all the team tents and stuff at our state series races and the competition that it brings with each other. And like I said, our state series obviously is completely different than what everybody else does. Yeah, it's huge. I think we are going to our Gold Cup earlier this year. When was that? January-ish or something like. No, it wasn't January. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we're going to that thing, and at the same day, Florida was having one of their state races, and I remember we were, here in Michigan, we were high on a buzz because we had a really great turnout for our Gold Cup at the indoor track, and I flip my phone open and I read 200 riders. 200 motos, sorry, not riders. 200 riders at the your state race at that same time. Like, holy moly.
So my son is a 13 expert, and he's on the NAG borderline, but in the state of Florida, he's one of our better Florida riders for his age group. But there are literally 5 or 6 riders in Florida in his age group that could NAG plate, but they don't even run nationals because they don't need to. The racing here is, they have semis and our state qualifiers in their group. It's phenomenal. The racing is that good that they just choose not to race nationally. They don't need to.
Wow. Well, man, says a lot for the series that's built and what's embedded in there for riders that are there racing. That's great. All right, let's talk a little bit about Maryland. Well, we got the Gold Cup. We talked about your guys' Gold Cups. We talked about the State Series. What else did we have going on in Florida? I don't want to miss anything.
Oh, so hey, let me put this out there real quick. I'm sure we don't have a picture of it, but
I can probably
something else
one
that we
up
do
for you.
Differently. We our Race for Life, at least at our track in Cape Coral. So we do that completely different at our track too. We raise the money like every other track is supposed to have the Race for Life race, but we take all of the money that we raise at our track from our race, and we find a local kid in our community that has cancer, leukemia, and we race for that kid, and then we give their family all of the money from our track. Last year we raised $2,000 for a family. This year we're racing for a boy named Aiden Pickett. This year is actually the second time that we're going to be racing for him. We did it for him 3 years ago, but he's relapsed, and he's at a children's hospital getting leukemia treatment. So it breaks my heart, man. But we're racing for him tomorrow morning. So we do that differently too. We don't like I said, they get all of our money.
That's amazing.
When you say your money, what's that? Because I know typically that race entry fee goes right over to the, to the Race for Life. So where are you raising that money from?
So the race entry fee, we raise our race entry fee, and so like I said, we give USA BMX the minimum amount, but then we have fundraising at our track, and our concession money. Last year we raffled off some stuff. So, like I said, last year it was $2,000 that we were able to give to this local family. So, or that local family that we raised for. But so that's where our money comes from. So, race fees, concessions, raffles, stuff like that.
That's a great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's huge. Helping out the local.
And I got something in my eye. Well, I did get teary eyed a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but
that's okay.
Man, I don't know if I had like hairspray, something. Good Lord! But
Your eyes are sweating, huh?
yeah, right. Woo!
Aw.
Well, that's very intuitive. You guys to think of an idea like that should be stolen by all tracks. That is that's a great way locally to get your name out there and help some local families. That's a great idea.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a great event. We go out, we try and make it as big as possible. We go out and get, yellow balloons for leukemia everywhere and all that stuff. The family, his mom is going to be coming to our track tomorrow with his little sister for the event and stuff like that. So every year we have, riders from all kinds of different tracks that come just to race in our Race for Life because of the way that we do it. So we expect a pretty decent event tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Can I just pick your brain for a second? You can address an ongoing debate among some of the TOs I know. But how long do you guys run registration?
Oh.
All right, so we do, and we've switched to now because of COVID to an online registration.
Exclusively online?
Exclusively online.
Okay.
We are going to start going back to allowing people to pay at the window, but we expect that to be few and far between because we have had such a great reception of online signups. So you can literally sign up for Saturday's race, this past Monday.
Okay.
So the convenience of it has been awesome, and we don't want to go back. The people at our track don't want us to go back to long lines and craziness, but
yeah, agreed. So then you just set an established practice time. You just say you're going to practice for a half an hour and then post your.
So at our track, we race on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Our practice starts, or the track opens up at 6:00, and the racing starts at 7:15. Okay. So riders will get an hour and 15 of practice, and then we race. Our registration closes at 6. So before, when you had to do walk-up sign-ups, our registration closed at 7, and we're trying to have a 7:15 race. Our poor ladies in
still got people in line at 7.
And registration. Oh my God, it was. Yeah. So now there's no reason that anybody can't be signed up by 6:00. You have an entire week to sign up.
And then I see you just staff the window for incidentals or corrections or whatever. Okay.
Yep.
That's
and then we do an online moto posting at between 6:30 6:45. Moto corrections until 7, and then boom, we race.
That's efficient.
Yeah, I like it because you can stick to the schedule. Mm-hmm. So when I saw this,
especially weekday racing.
Yes, especially the weekday, and as kids get back to school. So when I saw this pop up, I'm like, man, that's perfect. You have a timeline for to respect people's time, which Melissa's heard me rant many, many times. As a TO, there's one thing that you can never go and get, and that's somebody's time that you either took, missed, or have. So you never can get that. You can go buy more soil tack, you can buy more clay, you can buy more lights, and so on and so forth, but time you can't get back. With this, I saw this, I think last week. I was like, man, that's the way to get new riders, that's the way it needs to read. Like right there, and you have the stage set so they understand how it works, and it's perfect.
So this was created, our board at our track in Cape Coral is phenomenal. And this was created by, we have a PR person, her name's Mandy Reisner, and she creates these basically online sign-up posters for the week with all the information on there. Mm-hmm. And I can't speak for other tracks. I can just tell you that, what we do at our track is just extremely efficient, and we've had no problems with
that was going to be my
online
next
sign-ups.
question.
It's been fantastic.
So, no issues. How about
Zero.
So was gonna say?
Oh yeah, no pushback, no complaints, or
no. The only thing that people have told us with online signups is that do not ever go back to the way it was.
Okay, all right, that's good feedback. So, yeah. 2-part question then. So the second part is, I'm seeing on your flyer, no awards. No, you're not giving any trophies or anything like that at this time?
So we are starting now. Well, at first, because of COVID, we had told everybody, well, listen, we can either race because you want to race, or we don't race just because you want a ribbon. Like, what is it? We were trying to limit as much hand-to-hand contact with online signups and not giving out awards as possible. And now that restrictions have lighted up, we just had a board meeting. We're going to start to go back to give out awards. But at the same time, we do a jersey series at our track. And during the jersey series, we don't hand out awards anyway. It's a $10 race during our jersey series. It runs from January to May to coincide with our state series because kids are getting their locals in. And if you race 10 races at our track, you get a free custom Cape BMX jersey with your name, number, whatever you want on the back. So we don't hand out awards during our jersey series anyway.
Wow. So 10 locals, and they earn a jersey.
You get a jersey. This year it's coming from T-Bone BMX.
I was just going to ask.
Well, I already assumed that.
We had to get our plug in.
So 10 locals, and you earn a jersey. Doesn't matter placement.
Nope. If you do, we also have it at our track that if you raise 10 locals in class and 10 locals in cruiser, you could get 2 jerseys.
Oh, shoot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of
but you're not giving any awards out on these races,
during
right?
During the jersey series, he said no.
During that jersey, that's about to change. We're going to start handing out, the ribbons again, track bucks, trophies. Any of our new riders who are brand new, and they raced their first race, they still got an award. They got a first-time racer trophy. So we always still handed that out. But
when you go to handing the awards out, does your entry fee go up?
No, we have a set fee. It's an $8 race, and during the month, we give out saver stamps, track bucks, or a ribbon.
Okay.
All of our races are total points, but then the last Saturday of the month at our track is when we have a trophy race, and yes, that makes it a $10 race.
Okay.
I know some tracks are like, well, if you want a trophy, you got to give us $3 extra, and to me, that's kind of a pain in the ass. So we have one race designated last Saturday of the month, trophy race for anybody. But you don't have to get the trophy. I mean, you can still get the track bucks, you can get saver stamps, or whatever you want.
And if they're a first-time rider at your place, they're always going to get something, right? They're getting their.
They always get a trophy.
That's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea.
Pretty big ass trophy too. Some of them are bigger than the kids.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking in my head. Well, one thing I wanted to hit before I say that is right here. I want to go back to the full screen, and your PR person. I want a tip of the cap to her, because here on the right side, some very important information. So you make the flyers up ahead of time, and I make a lot of these actually for scenes for the show and our track too. So you can't embed a link in these, right? Because you got to ship them out, or maybe you're going to print them, however you're going to do. Great job on her part right here. Okay, so here's your online link. I'm I'm saying this for other tracks, okay? Because as a racer, this is a beautiful thing right here. I'm taking the TO cap off.
You want the one-stop shop.
It's right here. Look at, and she even put the live moto stuff. So they know your customers, your racers, your families. They all know. All I got to do is go back to that post. It's right there. Your announcers can then transition their announcements from, hey, motos are now being posted, to then tying in the Facebook quick or social media ad. Like, hey, see our social media for today's race. It has the links for the motos this evening. Like, great job, you guys. Kudos to the whole staff there and your PR person. Good job.
Well, I'm gonna one up it right there. So check this out. So not only do we do that, but then once motos are posted, so you don't have to go back and find that poster or the link, our clerk posts the moto link on Facebook. So when you click on our Facebook page at Cape Coral BMX, that's the first thing you see. So you just have to go to our Facebook page on race night. Boom, the moto link's right there. You just click it. Done.
See, you guys are on it, and
I'm guessing every track should have a PR person.
I guess
That should be a new board position, I think.
You should. That's nothing. You should taste the cakes she bakes. They're amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
always
I can't.
helps.
Ugh, yeah.
It always helps. No, but thinking how many times, and I know there's a lot of people in here that listen to the show that are track operators or involved in the boards. And I'm sure this has probably happened to you, and maybe at your track or tracks you've been involved in before, but you pull up and there's a magical box of old national trophies that just show up out of friggin' nowhere. Like, where did this come from? And you just pull in, and there they are. And the next thing you know, you're sitting there. It's 6 months into your season, and you've got 9 of these trophies. And you're like, what are we going to do with them? And no one ever wants to throw them out. But you're talking about those new rider trophies. That's a perfect. There you are. There they are.
Is that your box, Nick? Oh, yep.
No, those are my daughter's trophies, and we do the same thing. We take all the stickers off of them. Mm-hmm. That's when she was allowed to collect trophies. She's not anymore. But we do the same thing. We take the stickers off of them, and then we use them as first-time racer trophies. We put a new sticker on the bottom. All right, close the door. My daughter. And we give those out because they're so big. They're national trophies to the first-time racers.
You mentioned track. Did you call it track bucks? Hey, sweetheart.
There she is.
What kind of rider use those for?
So our riders can use them. They typically use them in concessions to buy candy and rot their teeth. That's typically what they're using for. But you could use them to buy track T-shirts if you wanted to. We have track hats. This is not a track hat, but same idea. We have a
real familiar though.
T-Bone
like
original.
It seems to look. I don't. There's the T-Bone logo. What do you got on the other side there?
So the other side, that's the DL Dominguez Lamoglia training. Dominguez is one of our speed co-riders, and he trains my son and daughter and does a lot of camps at our track. So big shout out to him. I know he was racing in Maryland today.
We should have called him.
Who are we calling?
He is.
Yeah, thank you for picking up on that segue.
Who are we calling in Maryland?
Who are we calling, Nick?
Rick Kaneda.
All right, let's.
So Rick has 2 kids that race on our Power FX team, so he's up there racing this weekend.
Awesome.
Perfect. So let's give him a call real fast. We're going to call Rick here, and as we always say, this is live, so we never know what's going to happen. Here we go.
We prefer it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can go back and edit.
Okay.
We can still hear her.
She doesn't have to whisper.
She doesn't have to whisper.
Does she see my daughter sitting behind us?
Yes, I was saying her earlier.
Oops. All right.
You say hi.
Oh. Hey, Rick, are you there?
I am here.
1 second, Rick. I got to patch you into the board.
Wrong
By
plug.
patching him into the board, it's unplugging my charger and plugging this cable in. Sorry, Rick. All right. Can you hear us, Rick?
I can hear you.
And Nick, can you hear him?
I can, man. Big shout out to Turtle. I saw Haley got second place today, man.
Rick, could you hear Nick or no?
I cannot, no.
You cannot. All right. Well, I will relay for Nick. That is why I had to use the little interface. Well, he wanted to say congratulations for Turtle. Did a great job today. So, good.
And Haley got second, man.
Haley got second. Very nice work.
So he can hear us, but he can't hear.
He can't hear Nick, but Nick can hear him. So
interesting.
Well, if I'd have had more than an hour to prep this show, I think I would have done it. But we wanted to check in with you, Rick, to kind of get a pulse of how the Nationals going out there in Maryland. And, we all are dying to know how things have went with the no canopy and the enforcing the mask. So let's start with, how are things going with that no canopy rule there in Maryland?
Yeah, the no canopy rule is definitely interesting because you're not allowed to have a 10 by 10 canopy up to kind of get out of the sun or the rain. Obviously, we've had both today. We had a rain delay. But yet, if I have a 20 by 20 section and I have a bunch of beach umbrellas, then that's okay. So, and I know it's not USA BMX or the track's ruling. Right. It's just the county. The thought behind no tents, but I'm allowed to have an umbrella. It's definitely an interesting kind of twist to what you can and can't do.
Nice.
But overall, everyone kind of they comply to the restriction. We did have one team put up a tent. And they had it about 2 feet off the ground, or not about 2 feet, sorry, about 4 feet off the ground, just enough for them to store their bikes underneath it. And within 10 minutes, the police marshal that's been walking around walked over and told them they got to take it down. So you couldn't even have a tent put up for just your bikes.
Wow.
Was there any explanation to why you couldn't have tents up at this rate? And I might have missed it, but I'm just curious.
They didn't want anyone gathering under the tent. So to tell you the truth, I pulled in this morning, and obviously I get there. I'm usually one of the first people there. That's just how I roll. And I noticed that the vendors had tents up. So I said, hey, what do I got to do to put a tent up? Why do the vendors have tents? And the response was, we can control the vendor tents by allowing only 10 people in per time. We're not able to control the team tents and where they're going to be congregating, but that's what they don't want. So that was what it was explained to me, that the vendors were okay to have tents, but the teams, they could not because of the team members congregating around the tents and the potential of not having masks on and that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, so were the factory teams even allowed to have like their tents up or anything?
No okay. Factory teams at all. Nope. Okay. Just the vendors that were there, and it was a couple of vendors, and then obviously USA BMX had their tent up. Mm-hmm. But overall it was for what I'm calling the face mask nationals. We had 154 motos. Okay. Wow. It was a decent count. It ran well, but they were enforcing the rules though. Now when I say, they were enforcing the rules on the tents. They had, an officer walking around and enforcing and reminding people that you got to put your mask on. Even the kids, if your helmet wasn't on, you had to have a mask. And they were reminding everybody, if your mask is not on, that we're going to enforce a $250 fine.
Did anybody get a $250 fine?
Not to my knowledge. I do know people were warned and people were, had their own reasoning as to, obviously you get people from A to Z that it's my First Amendment rights and all this other nonsense. But, I think at the end of the day, you got to commend the track and USA BMX for going through the motions, doing what they could do to host a race, put on a good race. And if wearing a mask is what we have to do in order to race BMX for however long this is going to go on. I just think we as, racers and the parents that support BMX have to be willing to kind of take the good and the bad, because the good is we're racing. The bad is, you wear a mask. All of us could be sitting at home watching television.
Good point.
Yeah.
So, we're out there, T-Bone Nation, we're making it happen. Power FX, the team, all did great today. The whole entire Power FX team made mains. There's 4 of us up here and just having a good time, supporting our team, making sure that, we're supporting and promoting and making sure Pink and Black is out there attacking everybody.
Very nice.
That's
and
awesome.
We really appreciate you kind of giving us that, in-person review out there. I got to say, you're one of our friends, probably your friend also. Mr. Gate 9 himself was in here in the chat, which I don't think you can see, but that's a bold statement for him to say, isn't it?
Yeah, he says, I'm from Maryland. I can speak for how weird we are. LOL.
Because knowing
I
Billy,
replied, you said it.
yeah, he's a weird guy. But I got to say, thanks, Billy, for helping me make sure we get all the logos converted for the show this evening. Shout out to Billy and Gate 9. If you guys want the best in gates, gate number plates, make sure you see Gate 9.
Yeah, for sure. I think he does jerseys, too.
And he doesn't like it, but I don't know. I don't know if Rick has saw or not. He sounds like a busy guy racing. He actually designed the All Things BMX jersey, which we can either send you a picture of, or if you watch the replay of the show later, you'll see that it is behind the beautiful Melissa next to Laura. He did the design, and he doesn't like to take credit for it. He likes to pass it off, but he did a great job on it.
Shut up.
Awesome.
So if you're looking for the latest and greatest in all things BMX jersey design, see Gate 9.
See, he wanted a Friday show, and then now he's
You got a
complaining.
Friday show, Billy. You got a Friday show. Rick, we want to thank you so much for letting us call you and getting you on the show.
Appreciate it.
Working through our little technical difficulties where you couldn't hear Nick. But we do appreciate you giving us kind of that foot on the ground feedback of what's going on. And are you racing yourself?
No, I do not race. I am kind of been slated to be team mechanic, and I'm happy being the team mechanic. So
Power
as long as Team Power FX is out there, kicking butt on the attack, that's my job, and that's what I enjoy doing.
Well, the next time Power FX and the ATB race team is at a national together, we're going to pit next to you, because that's one thing we definitely don't have is a mechanic.
Well, thanks, guys.
All right, Rick, thank you
Rick.
so much. You have a wonderful evening.
Good luck, Power FX.
All right, Nick, see you then. Stick with Nick.
Stay with Rick, baby. He said thank you. We want to thank Rick for dialing in and joining the live show this evening. We'll do a last call here. Look, anybody can call in. Obviously, you can't hear Nick, but we'll do our best to relay it. 248-716-1094. And I'll tell you what, after the show's done, we'll probably jump into chat, and I'll figure out how to make this work. I have the stuff, so we'll make it work. What do we got going on? Do we got anything going on in the chat, Melissa? I see that Isaiah's mom joined us.
Oh, yeah, Amanda.
Yep, Amanda just joined in here. Also, it looks like Martin, he's throwing a little number around here after Ron was talking shit. He's talking about 233 motos at the Tampa State race this year. Were you at that one, Nick?
Killed it. Absolutely. Go to them all. Killed it. We killed it at that race. That was amazing.
So here's a comparison. And one, congratulations to have moto counts that high. All right, like you guys are absolutely killing it. So we have our first caller.
Oh.
It's coming in from Naples, by the way.
Chill with Jill.
Probably my wife.
Accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All right, here we go. I heard Chill with Jill was calling in.
That's it. Chill with Jill.
Jill, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Enjoying spending time with your husband this evening.
Yes, I see that.
Now, Jill, this may be a wonderful situation for you where you're not going to be able to hear Nick, but if need be, we can relay anything that Nick has to convey to you.
Or we can play telephone.
Or we, yes.
Oh, boy.
So, Jill, we'd love to know, you're there, you're with the Power Effects team. And,
Yeah.
were you in Toledo, too?
I'm not doing anything.
Of course.
Okay, we were right across from you guys under the Kebco
No,
tent.
you are.
All right, perfect. So, we very, very, very big supporters of what you guys are doing. We were just about ready to talk about the difference between the Florida state qualifiers and Michigan. So here in Michigan, we've been working really hard to kind of, work hand in hand with other tracks. And Waterford Oaks, the past weekend, just set the bar for the highest moto count. Now, look, we all know that moto counts can be construed, and, we know this, but it's the one and only race that Waterford had, and we had 53 motos. So when I read there's been 233 motos at a state race, congratulations to everybody, and especially your racers, the families, the sponsors, the TOs, the volunteers. Congratulations, you guys. Excellent work.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
Melissa wants to know,
Wait, what?
what's it like at a state qualifier with 233 motos? What does that day look
I can't even
like?
imagine.
OMG.
Yeah, I tried. Well, I shouldn't say I tried. I scored this weekend on our race, and that was insane. It was just moto after moto after moto.
Yeah,
And we even had semis
crazy.
for our 5. Was that not
5 and under novice, yeah.
Holy crap, that was crazy too. Trying to figure that out.
Semis, we have quarters. Like,
Whoa.
that doesn't happen normally.
That's amazing. So are
We
you?
do. We had quarters for, I believe, our 6 and 7 intermediate class that day. If I remember correctly, we had over 720 riders. I think it was like 724. So
I mean, that's a whole day, right? I mean, you start early in the morning and you're just there all day. That's awesome.
Yep.
We get there at 8. We set up the tent. We walk around. We try to put everyone on the sheet. We try to figure out what's going to happen. We're watching racing, and it's just really kind of crazy.
Wow.
That's wild. We obviously are very envious of what is happening in Florida, but to have quarters you guys are having for 6 and 7 intermediate, that's crazy. But congratulations, though. As far as the team goes, you've got your Power Effects team. It's a state race that you're going to have that many motos at. What does that day look like for you?
What do you think?
Well, so
Nick's talking right now.
At least for me, I mean, on our state team, we have almost 40 riders on our team. We have it broken down. Our teams can race in Florida. There's 2 different types. There's a money, you can race for money, or a trophy team. So we have a money and a trophy team.
Nope. Jill has the show on in the background, so she's getting the echo.
You're getting background, Jill. You have to turn the show off.
But there's such a long delay. There we go. So you got the money. You got in your state series. Let me get this right. In the state series, you have a team series within there that has a money team and a trophy team, correct?
Correct. So not every team runs a money sheet.
Sure.
I think we have 9. We're actually one of the only teams that run both. But I think that there were this year 9 teams that ran money sheets. Some of them are just money exclusively. And then I believe there were 14 or 16 teams competing on the trophy team state championship. So.
Oh, I think we just lost Jill. We did.
Oh.
Oh, darn. Well, we wanted to find out what her prep was for setting up for the team.
Her prep basically consists of keeping my sanity, because with running a team, I mean, on a weekend, my focus is just, the riders on our team, scoring them, trying to figure out, who showed up to race, which riders I should put on the sheet. So it can be a little intense. I remember the first time I filled out a team sheet in the state series, it took me an hour and a half, but now it takes me 5 minutes.
Yes. Part of the reason our trophy is here. We'll have to pull this out real fast to brag for a split second. Part of the reason the ATV is the Gate 9 race team is that reason right there. If I've got the team sheet in front of me, it's going to take me an hour and a half to fill out. So when we show up, we tell Jen who's there. Jen magically is able to put together a team sheet that works.
Right.
Yes.
She's they're well versed.
She's very good at it.
I don't have any idea how that works.
I know we're talking Florida State Series stuff. Another thing we didn't talk about was our award ceremony that we have. So typically after our state championship every year, we have a venue that will host all of our riders and families with a big stage. And those that qualified, whatever their state ranking, we have a big award ceremony with a state series video recapping, videos and photos from the whole year. And the size of the trophies, I mean, they're the size of, 16-year-old kids. They're, 5 feet tall trophies, the same size that you would see at Grants, and kids get called up on a stage in front of everybody. All the state champions get, a special, award. It's just the award ceremony in of itself is a reason to race our state series.
Oh, that is so cool. I just had to laugh. I was reading in the chat. Billy said that LOL, the first one that his wife Jen did, they won a factory team sheet at a national, but they had all the damn numbers wrong. I guess you live and learn.
Right. But we have a national team as well. I mean, we compete on the state series, and then we have riders who compete at nationals. Right now, we're ranked nationally number 10 in the bike shop category. So big shout out that.
Yeah.
And, we're having a good year.
That's awesome. It certainly sounds like it. Super impressed. So I did have somebody, and forgive me, I don't remember exactly who it was instead of scrolling back, but I know he was asking any plans or thoughts on what the 2021 season looks like for you guys.
So we're going to start talking about that pretty soon. From as it stands right now, we are not going to start the 2021 season until most likely January.
Okay.
It's not normal for us, but we have 8 tracks or 8 qualifier locations because we had to add in, obviously, Naples and then St. Cloud BMX, who was supposed to host our championship. They're going to get added into the mix. So we have 8 sites we got to go to this year, and that'll start in January. So however long that takes us, if we have to run longer than we do traditionally in May, then, we will. Whether or not we have to have a championship in June, July, August, I mean, we'll do what we need to do to get all those races in starting in January. So.
Okay, so January. So, sometime you'll obviously let everybody know once you make some decisions and
right
how that's going to move forward. Cool. Well, yeah, the winter season around here is going to be bleak, unfortunately.
That's for us. That's prime racing season. It's gorgeous.
We lost our indoor this year. Now, luckily for Melissa and I, myself, we are only about 3 hours from Ray's MTB park, so that's not terrible. Good point, Melissa. As long as they're opening up, she had to step off screen because we were actually working on adding Melissa's trivia for the three of you this evening. Is that Jill? That's Jill the Thrill. All right. Well, chill with Jill, not Jill the Thrill. Sorry, chill with Jill. I'm going to change it to hashtag Jill the Thrill. But Melissa's grabbing some of the merchandise out of the treasure closet for our impromptu trivia question this evening. Ooh. Yeah, because. Hey, we're just adding all kinds of things this evening. So, hey, but you were talking about the video that they put together at the. If you rotate that way, I can change the screen so everybody fits in if you want. Yep. Nope, that did not work like I thought it was going to go to landscape mode. Hold on, don't move because I can. But I wanted to know while I work on that, you can answer this for me. How you were talking about they do the video packages or I guess is the way you'd call it, like you guys have a video presentation, so on and so forth. Like how does that work? Like who does the recording? That's the part I want to know. Like who does the recording, and who puts all that together as best as you can.
So USA BMX has a videographer that goes around and volunteers their time. Actually, it's one of they go around and take videos. Then we have one of the A-Pro, Will Grant, goes around, takes videos. So they use some of his. And then Life is Art Photography. They're absolutely amazing. They take a ton of photographs. They do it nationally as well. But for our state series, Martine at Life is Art, he's from Sarasota, and he goes out and takes photographs just like they do at nationals, and they post them online, and they break them down by category as far as expert, girls, novice. I mean, and you can go on there, copy and paste their pictures of your rider, post them on your Facebook, all for free. So they use his photographs as well.
It's huge. It'll be like a slideshow then a lot of times.
Right. So there's slideshow pictures. Okay. And then there's actual video from races that happen during the event. Like I said, USA BMX has a volunteer videographer that goes around and takes videos and things like that. So it's like a combo of both.
Perfect. Well, we've got a lot of footage from most of the state races. We do our best to try to broadcast from them as a way to kind of give back here in Michigan and anywhere we end up. So, that's interesting because that would not take very long to bang out, but that's another show for another time. Actually, if you flip the other way real fast, go back. There we go. I got you set up now. So we are, there's
the whole fam family.
All right. So we want to say thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
This was a fun thing, a little impromptu, and we're going to throw it all together, and it didn't come together all that bad at all. And
last minute thing, it was awesome.
You did.
Well, under the deadline, it's there. So we're going to move to, there we go.
Oh boy.
There we go. So it is trivia time with Melissa.
It is. Sorry, I was in mid-thought. Apparently, I'm not multitasking well on a Friday evening. It's been a long day.
Boy, I'll hand you over these duties.
No, I had my own long day. We can switch roles. You can go work with patients all day.
No.
All right. So, in honor of our Power FX family down in Florida, I grabbed a pink T-Bone T-shirt to give away.
Oh, yes.
You guys have seen these, right?
It's the tour.
I think everybody's familiar with that logo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the tour there. All right, our sticker pack, and then I also am throwing in a Heavy Pedals zine, sending the love out to Chuck and all his friends, I guess, that contribute to this.
Lots.
I don't know, is he still traveling, doing interviews and stuff for number 4? Well, he was over on the East Coast or
He
something
was.
somewhere. So, anyways, all right. Question for the evening. Where did I put it? We would like to know how many motos were in Maryland today. Looking for the total.
That was courtesy of our friend. No, wait.
Don't answer.
You guys
Don't answer.
can't answer, but I'll make sure that good. I'll make sure that you've got something from us. All right. Now, but we're going to be in the chat right now looking for the answer that Rick provided us today. So he didn't know this, but Rick is the one that provided us with the question today for our trivia this evening. And as we're moving along, wow, right on, just on cue. Look at that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I got to edit this real fast because I pretty much.
All right, Michael Lane, you are the first one to get the answer in.
Oh, one of our Power FX people.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Billy says I win, but he's not answering. Well, no, you're slow. Michael, if you could do me a giant favor and send us your home address either via the email, allthingsbmxshow@gmail.com, or feel free to message us on Facebook and we'll get this stuff out to you. See, Billy, you're wrong. It was 154, in case anybody was wondering what the answer was.
I said 153.
Well, you were super close.
I was totally wrong.
Well, thanks for playing, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We had a great time.
Yes. Good time. Test out our breaking news, special events,
calls.
Well, we're going to have to fix the phone call part, but we'll get that on there so the guests can hear the other guests. So we just posted in the chat.
Don't blame it on your wife, Billy. That's low.
He is. He's trying to blame it on Jenny from the block. We just posted in the chat. You can join us in the Zoom room, talk to Nick. Nick, you're more than welcome to hang out as little or as long as you like. I'm sure Billy will be here in 3 minutes along with T-Bone. And look, we're looking for the Florida contingency. Get in there. Let's chat for a little while. You guys aren't racing, so let's talk a little bit and share some more ideas that you guys are doing. And typically this is where I hand it over to Chris, but Chris isn't here.
Now you get to sign off for the first time in a long time.
It's weird. All right, ATV Nation. Good night, and God bless.